Today is our big branding day for our family operation here in Toston. So today is the day that we give the first rounds of vaccinations to our cattle, and we also brand them. So in the state of Montana, a brand is the legal ownership. So we are going to brand the cattle, mark them with the ownership, and prepare them to go out to summer grass. And when they're out at summer grass, it's not next door to us, so that brand allows us to have ownership in case they get out of the pen or the field. And so we're going to give everything a couple rounds of shots. We're going to cut a few bull calves that we don't want as bulls, and we're going to give them two different brands. One is the ranch brand and one is Sean and I's brand. Branding happens one time a year, usually in the spring. We do brand cattle here at our ranch when we receive them from buying them in the sale barn, but branding of our own calves happens in the spring before you turn them out to summer grass. So this is kind of a one time a year deal. It's a fun family friend event. We kind of celebrate that calving's done, cattle are ready to go to grass, and so it's a kind of monumental moment here on the ranch. There are a few different methods of getting cattle to the fire during a branding that you might witness if you go to a branding. So one is heading and healing, which is what you see at our family's operation. The other option is healing, where they drag them into the fire and then they have crews who hold the calf down during the vaccination and the branding. Or people use a calf table. And part of the reason why people use a calf table is because it's less labor intense than the other two options. The reason we head and heal is because, one, we really enjoy it, and two, we think it's actually easier on the animals than the dragging them to the fire, but you have to have really good high quality ropers. And so luckily my brother hangs out with a group of guys that are really great at roping, so it makes heading and healing easier. But just know that every operation does it a little bit different, and there are pros and cons to each option. And when you go to a branding, you'll see the way that fits best for that operation. In a head and heel branding, you'll notice that the header catches first, and they kind of encourage the direction of the calf in order to get the healer a great heel shot. The goal is always to rope the calf around the neck and have 2 feet in the heel shot, but of course that doesn't happen every single time. And so as they get the calf roped and they bring it closer to the fire, you're going to flank the calf and get them laid down on the ground. You take the rope off of the neck and put it on the front leg, and the goal is to make those front legs cross. So you want the rope, when you're taking it off and putting it on the front legs, to be above the foot but below the knee joint, and you want the front legs to cross. And then on the back legs, you will oftentimes hold that calf so the roper can get a little bit closer and snug on that rope for a little bit more control during the branding. You want the rope above the feet, below the hock, and again, you want those back legs crossed. And then the ropers stretch the calf out to make the branding a little bit easier and the vaccination. And then as soon as the branding and vaccination is done, the ropers pop their dally, the ropes come off, and the calf gets up and goes to the other pen. We try to make this process as quick and smooth as possible, which is why it's really important to have good quality help around, because we want to minimize the stress on the animals and we want to get them back with their moms as fast as possible. So when you see the footage from our branding day today, you'll notice a couple things. We have different color ear tags, which is different ownership here on the ranch. So we have 3 different colored ear tags. We also have calves that were born in January from some purchased cows all the way through April. So our youngest calves are not in the pen today. We will brand them a little later, but we do have some earlier calves all the way through. Our traditional calving season is March, April, and May. So that's the most you'll see, but you'll see some big calves that were born a little earlier. A few branding etiquettes are, if you're here, you should be willing to help, and you should know to stay out of the way and to not get yourself in the way of the ropers or the cattle. Also, you want to do a job you're comfortable with. Every job here is really important, so the shots are really important. If you ear tag them, that's really important. The brand's really important, and so make sure you know where you're comfortable and that's your role. And then also, if you're roping, you want to first be asked if you can come rope, and then you want to make sure that you rope kind of when everyone else is and you take turns roping. Everyone loves to rope, but you have to work the round as well. Branding day is filled with a lot of tradition, but there is a lot of different ways to brand cattle and get the task done. It is a day that is really enjoyable for families and kind of, signifies that calving's over, spring is done, and summer is arriving soon. And just make sure when you show up to a branding that you are willing to jump in wherever you feel confident, and don't be afraid to ask questions and really learn why they do the way they do. And there's a lot of ways to get the job done.